Tonight, we shall be speaking with one of the young persons wanting to become Nigeria's president, Dumebi Kachikwu. He's a media businessman. He joins me now to shed light on what his ambition of wanting to become Nigeria's president, and of course his party ADC, whether or not they're also ready to take up the challenge as an alternative political party to the so-called big political parties, APC and PDP, that we have. Thank you so much, Mr. Kachikwu, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sheon, for having me.
So you've obtained your form?
Yes, I have.
You are ready?
Very ready.
When they say young, so when the introduction of young comes up and you see the face of the people and you wonder whether or not you are young, do you belong to the young bracket of Nigerians in the real sense of it?
So youth is described or defined in different contexts, either the UN or Nigeria. I think the Nigerian government defines youth as age 35. So I believe that's not what I'm representing. Young for me is representing this generation, a generation different from our grandfathers and our fathers. That's what young means. So age bracket 50 and under, some people will say 55 and under. That's young, different from those people who have been ruling us in the last 2-3 decades. I guess when people say young, that's what they mean.
So where do you belong? Youth, young?
I am young.
Interesting. Because people will say, does it matter the age? The question is the capacity and the experience. What do you think?
In our climb in Nigeria, age does matter. And I'll say this because it's a cultural perception, cultural attitude. So you know how our fathers act. They believe that their children are not capable. So if given the opportunity, just like with President Buhari, what do? They bring geriatrics like them into office. People who are totally disconnected from the reality of present day issues, global affairs, technology, economics, everything. They're totally disconnected. They can't even begin to understand the technology. I mean, you're seated here, you have a laptop, you have a smartphone before you. These are people who cannot begin to even understand a third of the apps you have in any of these devices. These are the people who rule us. How can you effectively rule today when you don't even begin to understand technology? So age does matter in our climb. Biden's an old man, but Biden is surrounded by young, brilliant minds. That's what people in developed nations will do.
There are old and savvy people.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
I've got some, I know a few of them.
Definitely.
Who operated iPad before I even had one.
Definitely, there are a few old and savvy people. And the few old and savvy people you will find are people you probably find in the private sector. There are some of them in government. But I'm telling you, majority of the people we find in government today are absolutely technology ignorant.
So for a leader, the situation we have on our hands in Nigeria today, we need a technology savvy leader. Is that what you're saying?
Technology is the basis of our world today. You speak of metaverse, for example, and you look at our government. How does our government respond to emerging trends like this when they can't begin to understand it? So technology, it is important. It's not the beginning and end of everything, but it's important to have somebody who understands the rudiments of modern day technology. It goes beyond that. But you find that even you take nations like India, take the UK, for example, or Europe as a whole, government is being run by technological platforms. Nigeria was still backwards. For the last 2 decades, we keep on hearing them saying, oh, government.
What will technology do for us?
What will technology do for us? Every single thing. Let me start, for example. I heard you earlier on the news, 4 trillion naira in subsidy. Ridiculous. What will technology do for you? You can track the exact number of liters of fuel consumed in Nigeria with the right technology. We are told that a lot of those trucks are leaving Nigeria. Technology can help you track that. Technology can help you track the source from the truck, the fuel coming into Nigeria to the end point where it gets into, where it's pumped from the nozzle. Technology can do that. Technology can do pretty much everything. Saw the train bombing in Kaduna, that train. Are you kidding me? Technology, you can see everything going on from Abuja all the way to Kaduna. You have cameras that can see 50 kilometers. You have night vision cameras. You can see pretty much everything if you understand technology and what technology can do for you. But if you don't, will you ask for it? Absolutely not.
Who is Dumebi Kachikwu? Because if you want to lead Nigeria, you need the prerequisite knowledge, understanding, requisite knowledge, understanding, experience. The question is, what have you done for yourself before you say you want to handle the affairs of Nigeria?
It's very simple. I'm a businessman, but the prerequisite I need to rule Nigeria is to be Nigerian, to be a Nigerian who cares, to be a Nigerian who's felt the modern day issues, the issues we feel in Nigeria today, to be a Nigerian who wakes up every day and is concerned enough to say, you know what, I want to do something about this. To be a Nigerian who has felt every sector, multifaceted sectors of Nigeria, and has dealt in those sectors. A Nigerian who is exposed to the rudiments of technology, finance, healthcare, agriculture, who's played in these sectors, both locally and internationally. But beyond that, I think that what Nigeria needs today is someone who cares enough to say, you know what, I'm willing to take on this issue and challenge the status quo. That's who I am.
And that's what you think is required?
Nigeria today definitely.
You don't think that there's a need for a leadership and accomplishment in your own private endeavor before you don't think you need to tell Nigerians that this is what I've done for myself?
Tell you what,
and I can do very much more.
In a few words, I said that in the spheres I've operated in, from healthcare, agriculture, technology, real estate, construction, technology, all these spheres, I am accomplished. I've done a lot in those spheres. But I come to be a different person who's not speaking about me, but speaking about the people I seek to lead. It's their issues that are important. I de-emphasize myself. I'm not going to come here. I'm not the person. I'm not the candidate who you see taking pictures with orphans or showing their giveaways and all that stuff. No. My job is to speak about the people I seek to lead and their issues.
I see that you're talking somewhere about the Nigeria, the birthing in Nigeria, and you're talking about the present Nigeria, and you describe it in a certain manner. I'm not sure can you remember what you said exactly?
What I said is that we need to kill the company called Nigeria and bet the nation Nigeria.
What does that mean?
Well, essentially what I'm saying is this. From the Royal Niger Company that the British, their colonial masters transformed into a nation and handed over to us on Independence Day, it was a company, the attitude of a company. You had directors who were mining this geographical space. The people they handed over to took the mentality of those shareholders, right, and started mining this company. That's why all our successive leaders come in and mine Nigeria like a business, like shareholders. All they want is profits, self, right? So as a people, we didn't come together to define our common charter. Who are we? What do we want out of this geographical space? We have different cultures, different religions. What do we want? What defines us? What do we project to the world that this is who we are? We've never done that, and that's one of the issues affecting us. I heard you talking about the Plateau situation today. Those killings are happening because we are now in a space where we have foreigners coming into our nation. We let them in because there are some people in Nigeria who say, these people are part of us. They are my kinsmen from other countries. They can come in here because all of us identify as Fulani, and any Fulani in Burkina Faso, in Ghana, is a Fulani that can come here, right? But there are other Nigerians who believe that Nigeria is just for Nigerians. So until we have this common charter where we understand what defines us, who are we do we want to project to our descendants and outsiders that this is who we are not going anywhere.
So the question here, and I like to ask because we're in that situation in this country where it seems that the over 200 million of Nigerians agree on one thing, that we need a solution.
Yes.
But the question is whether or not we know what the problems are before we find a solution. Now, the realization that we need a solution is the realization that we're in some kind of trouble.
Correct.
So I'd like to ask, like I ask my other guests who are gunning for the same office, what in your mind is Nigeria's biggest problem at the moment?
Our biggest problem today? Buhari.
What do you mean by that? That's the name of a person.
That's the name of our President Buhari. Is our biggest problem today, and let me tell you why. It's an open secret that Buhari checked out mentally over 2-3 years ago, right? And when I say checked out mentally, he's been incapacitated by ill health. He came into government with
Sorry, that's, I mean, let's be factual. Is Doctor's President Buhari is okay, he's fine. He's in the presidential villa.
No, understand me very clearly.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to clarify.
I said that he checked out mentally, and I will define that, right? So it means that his ill health has led to an unfortunate situation where he no longer has full control or grasp of everyday issues.
Really?
And as such, Nigeria is falling apart. The President Buhari who sold himself to Nigerians is not the same President Buhari we are seeing today. The President Buhari who said, oh, you know what, give me 3 months, 4 months, I will stamp out the Boko Haram, I will do this, I will do that. It's not the same Buhari we're seeing today. The train bombing happened over 2 weeks ago. President Buhari we're seeing today has not spoken, not one word. It happened in Kaduna, just next to his home state. He has not spoken a word. Are you aware that we have over 100 or 200 people, we don't even know the number, who are still with those terrorists? Our president has not spoken. Let me tell you what the world sees. 3 days after that bombing happened, CNN, that's when CNN carried it. Why? If your president doesn't care, why should the outside world care? 10 people die in other places, 5 people die. It's world news. Nobody cares. People are dying in Plateau, people are dying in Katsina, all over the north. In the last 3 months, over 1,800 people dead in the northwest. Nobody cares. It's no news. Why? Your president is not standing in front of Nigerians and saying, I have a major problem. We're in a crisis situation. How many soldiers do you think...
But the president is going to be meeting the security chiefs on Tuesday.
And all he says is, I assure you Nigerians. That's all he says. A prepared text.
You don't agree with his style?
It's not about style. It's about what he knows to do. He has no grasp of the issues of today.
Is that fair to say that?
I'm absolutely certain.
And you think he can do better?
I am telling you, tell you what, Sheung, anybody right now can do better. I will certainly do better. I'm telling you that. The courage it takes to give a clear instruction to the military hierarchy right now to say, you know what, get rid of these people. Where they are not in any doubt of your body language, that means a lot.
You are blaming the president for this?
I am telling you that the president has taken his eyes off the ball. And I'm saying this again, that his ill health precipitated this. It's a major problem. It's an open secret. We all know this, but we just want to look the other way. But Nigeria is bleeding. Nigeria is hemorrhaging every day. What do we do about this? Can Nigeria afford another 11 months? Is a question. I heard the chap, the House of Representatives chap, who was almost crying about what's happening in the Plateau. And I asked, for the last 4 years, where were they? This has been happening. You should be hearing motions every day, resign, impeach this man. That should be happening every day. How many people have to die before we know what to do? Can Nigeria afford 11 more months of President Buhari? Tell you what, Sheung, diesel 200 naira to 800 naira. Do you know the multiplier effect of that? Do you know the catalytic effect of that on the economy? Look at it, you as a media organization, how does that affect you? Think of the middle class being wiped off completely. They are the chief job creators in Nigeria, and they're being wiped off. So you have tens of millions going into the unemployment market. Come on, we need to accept that we have a real problem. It's not a problem of party anymore. It's a problem of patriotism. Are we patriotic enough to say, you know what, let's all rise up? It's not about what, bright old enough to be my granddad or my father. So I sympathize with his situation. I said he came in with the best of intentions, but ill health, which can happen to anybody. So what should happen? Encourage the man to leave the office so Nigeria can survive. How many more days of this can we take? Should I wait till I'm leaving, and then someone who cannot feed himself anymore says, you know what, this man looks affluent, I'll just take on him. I'll feed on him. Should I wait till that day before I then say or do something about this?
Your party is the ADC.
Yes.
And hopefully, if you get the ticket, because you have shown your seriousness about obtaining the form.
Yeah.
I'm hearing the news that your party is giving forms for free to women and people living with disabilities, and perhaps young people too.
Correct.
Is that true?
That's true.
Should you get the ticket of your party, what are the chances of your party at the election?
Chances are very good, and I'll tell you what we're doing. In the last 2 election cycles, the last 2 decades of elections in Nigeria, actual numbers of those who vote presidential elections are less than 10 million. 85% of those people are in the rural areas. The people that you boss and give them wrapper and give them gari and give them all those things to incentivize them to vote, those are the people who give us a president every 4 years. People like you and I rarely vote. Election day is a picnic for us. We stay in our homes. Our job in ADC in the next 11 months to 1 year is to speak to people like you and I, the digital generation, the urban people, to say, you know what, it's time to get your PVC. It's time for us to march up this hill and define who we are and take over our nation and redefine our nation in a new path, in a new direction. That's what we're doing. So tell you what, we might not have 500 billion or 1 trillion like we hear some people have. We might not have 100 billion, but tell you what, Sheung, if people like you and I identify with our message, all they have to do is like and share. Like and share, like and share, till it gets to every man, woman, and child in Nigeria. They understand what is at stake, then they will go out, get their PVCs, and vote. I am looking for the 40 million people who have not voted. I'm not looking for the 10 million people who are voting all the time. I'm looking for the 40 million people who have never voted before, who now need to understand that this is why they have to vote. Those are people I'm speaking to. They are on smartphones. They are on smart devices. All I'm doing is using social media to talk to these people, reach out to them, appeal to their consciousness. Now, tell you what, the greatest challenge is that there's an apathy in those people towards Nigeria, government, and governance.
Dumebi Kachikwu, member of the ADC presidential aspirant, thank you so much indeed for coming tonight, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you, Sean, for having me.